Fanboy Modeling School.
Yo, what's going on?
What up? Did the music just cut off suddenly?
No, we got to get a better, longer version of our opening. That's from our old school videos.
Okay.
So that's just so people can see us. RM, what's up? RM starts it off shooting out. Fire!
Yeah, yo, I got Lainey over here, Izzy, John Fogg, and James Roberts. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School. We have an amazing episode on tonight. Amazing topics, amazing things. But first, my dear fellow co-host, the Mad Fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm going by tonight. And I'm just joining the green room. Let me just make sure that I'm not
What is the meaning of this?
God,
I feel like I'm falling for a trap right now.
No, you're not falling for any trap. You're not falling for any trap. But you want to give it a second before we kick that intro, that funky intro? Or you want to just do it now? You let me know because I'm ready for war.
We'll take a second, but I can't wait to see what's going on with this whole name. How are you, my friend?
Oh man, you know me, man. I'm freaking tired, bro. I am tired, man. But I'm a good tired man. I am creatively tired, and I'm grateful to be tired. I enjoyed your live, Lainey. Oh, aliens, always a heated topic. Shout out to everyone that was on there: Izzy, James, Roberts, Lainey, the Fat Mantis.
People be feeling feelings about aliens. Who would have thought?
See, this is what I'm talking about. You perverts just want to have sex with green people. That's what this all boils down to.
I'm going to obviously consult the doctor first.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to stick it in with no lube.
Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going full and raw dog. I'm like, don't do it, man. She's like, but I love that green alien.
Yeah, I've been there before. You know how I roll. I wonder if people on Twitch think it's weird. Like I should get a more plain bed.
D-Love, what's up? Oh man, but listen. I stayed up too late, partying with the people over there in the DT Dub TV crew. Hey, by the way, real quick shout out. We're serious content creators, Mantis and I. We're serious artists.
Quite serious.
We're so serious. But I just want to give Berlin a shout out from DT Dub Mantis. He is exactly like 200 subscribers or followers on YouTube away from being monetized. And we know how hefty of a task that is in this day and age. So shout out to him.
Well, seriously, shout out to you. God bless you, brother. I hope you're able to pull that off. 200, man. It's like 200 can be like tomorrow, or it can be next January.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is? On top of making it such a hard goal, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have to accomplish this in a month. Like you got to do all of this at the same.
Oh, they're gonna end it all. Yeah, no, it's nuts. Are we gonna redo the intro? I think we're ready.
Yes, we're ready to go. Here it is. You ready?
Kick it off, guys. Welcome in to a Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis HG, and I'm here with
your co-host Steve, the angry curmudgeon, the Mad Fan.
The Mad Fan. We're going to get to the bottom of whatever he's babbling about in just a moment. I hope you're all having a beautiful evening. As Steve was just talking about, he enjoyed me and Lainey. We did a stream earlier about aliens. Monday's going to be about aliens. Monday late afternoon. We're going to talk all things aliens. A lot of feelings were felt in that room.
Yes, feelings.
It was a constructive conversation. I think most parties enjoyed themselves.
Hey, you know what? For real. You got to have feelings for aliens. You got to feel aliens. You got to touch aliens. You got to get in their space, right? Parallel universes.
Government, if you will.
The turtles holding up planets. Was there anything that was not covered? I don't think so.
There's a lot that wasn't covered, which is why this is going to be a weekly event. More aliens to come.
I'm so delirious. I'm so tired. It's a day, and I've been up for 5 days.
I pity anyone with children. But let me ask you, before we get into it, do you want to tell the fans why you are the Mad Fan today?
So this is a parody, and I just want you guys to know of a classic hip hop character that Mantis should still be familiar with, called the Mad Rapper. So the Mad
that is a
Rapper,
throwback, brother.
the Mad Rapper was a character that was a shot at Tupac. I'm sorry to all the Tupac fans, but basically he was first incarnated. I believe the first time he ever showed up was on was it the Locks album? We were just listening to it the other night, and it reminded me, man, why is there so much hate about being toxic? Right? Aren't I allowed to live my truth? And my truth is sometimes I'm a mad fan, and in that truth, I complain about everything. Everything that I hate everything everyone's doing. You say James Gunn is talented, I say James Gunn is a hack. You say Star Wars is one of the best cinematic feats ever accomplished, I say meh. So that's the persona I'm taking on from now on. I believe toxicity should be celebrated in the streets. The curmudgeon has been reborn, and I'm ready to fight. I have
just like that, he was canceled.
Yeah.
Because in true love, public saying nah. But in life, I think what it is the way they discredit people is they make them angry. For instance, if you're ever talking to somebody, the moment you curse, even if you're calm, even if you're like, yo, bitch, then people are like, oh, he's crossed the line of cursing. He must be nuts. We need to call the cops. We need to have restraining orders. He can't see his wife and kids anymore.
Right.
Mantis can't work in a civilized situation just because he got a little heated.
Oh,
Smashed up a car.
Sounds personal.
What's happening? I don't know. Anyway, the point is people use it to discredit people. So the moment you seem angry, they're like, well, he's an angry incel. He's an angry fanboy. Oh, look at the black rage. Look at the white rage.
Here's the thing I'm saying, right? I'm taking it old school, right? So I'm a guy that believes, real quick, I just want to say shout out to RMD Love, Trey Becca, aka the Pink Princess, and Shaolin Iceboxer watching us over on Twitch and YouTube. I appreciate you. And shout out to everyone that's in Green Room.
Yeah, but we got Laney, we got James Roberts, we got Izzy, we got Public Friend, we got Greg Winthrop, we got Lucas, and we've got Lugo. Welcome in, guys. Thank you,
Lugo. Here's the thing, right? I'm a reach out and touch you type of guy, right? Reach out and touch you type of guy. So as they say in these streets out here, as these kids say, these streets, you're feeling very froggy about something I say on the internet. I live in New York State. I'll meet you in the city. We can talk about it in person, because I'm starting to believe that all this pontificating, all these fallacious arguments, all of this stuff, this is scientific. It's been proven by Black mothers for 100 years.
Okay.
Could be changed if I smack the shit out of you in public. Like, you say any of the things you dare say on the internet to me face to face. One good rap, tap, tap, tap on the face should clear all that up.
Although we are risking getting our platforms taken away from pretty much every app we're on right now by having this very discussion, I'm going to allow it. So I agree with you. The reason why I like fighting is not only I feel like at least the last time I kicked up dust, I was decent at it. But it's like dueling culture. We need to bring back dueling culture. The concept that someone can't just say anything to you.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of rule of law about how this goes. You can't just go over and make fun of my cancer-ridden little sister without getting smacked in the mouth.
Exactly. I
mean, can we agree on that?
There's consequence reaction. When that jackass came out of Endgame in the Manhattan theater and gave everyone the answer, there were consequences. Like, he gave him the spoiler for the ending of Endgame. There were consequences.
Yes.
And that consequences was a good old-fashioned ass whooping. So in honor of all the mad fans, we celebrate toxicity and internet violence, and the solution to
that's basically a holiday today. We celebrate February the 28th to be Internet Violence Day. Within reason.
So what are we talking about tonight, man? What do we got?
Real quick though, people have some thoughts over here in Green Room. James Roberts says people are usually discredited based on who they are, not what they are saying.
Ooh, right. Good point.
Laney says, well, I'm screwed because of the cursing thing, because I curse all the time.
Yeah. That's okay, Laney. I'll get the caddy and I'll pick you up. No one can cancel you as long as the mad fan is around.
And James follows up with, hold up is right. People say wild things because you don't witness any consequences.
James, I knew you were an intelligent man, and agreeing with me only further proves your intelligence.
And Izzy says, I'm about to start challenges, challenging people to break dance battles in the streets.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Nothing like a good dance battle to get the feelings out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a good show for you tonight. Obviously, we can't do Fanboy Modeling School the week of the Batman drop without discussing predictions and thoughts on the movie Batman. It's going to happen.
Right.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Next, follow up a word about the Punisher. There are some rumors going on about the Punisher with Marvel Comics may or may not do. Of all people, you would not believe the person who commented, and Marvel responded back. That's a really interesting take. And then finally, we've got the whole issues. I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about it because I don't know if they're demonetizing or even banning people discussing conflict overseas.
They are, and we are live on YouTube.
Okay, so basically what it is conflict overseas. There's a new victim, and Rolling Stones has pointed out the real victim in all this, and it's laughable, and I can't wait to discuss it.
Okay, last day to have a channel.
We just won't mention the country's name. They may or may not be Slavic countries.
Why did everything go blank on my screen?
And then our final issue, at least coming out of the Fat Mantis pile, is Discord has started to ban people for some odd things, and there's a big debate if this is cool or not.
You know, this doesn't surprise me with the whole Sony merger and all that stuff. And I had reported on this, and we had talked about this last year, that strange things were going to be happening in Discord, but also some good things. And remember, I said it here first, folks. It is going to take the place of many social media platforms. Trust me.
It's the future of social media. The only thing I don't like about it needs to, or maybe I don't know, it does have it, and I don't realize that it does. It needs to allow you to share someone else's post in your, like, in one server into someone else. Like Lainey should be able to say some smart aleck shit in her server, and I should be able to click a button and share that into my server.
Yeah, you know what? Well, you can. It's called copy paste.
I mean, that's work. It should just be click. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's work.
Clicky technology. Click.
Technically, you could share everything, but if I was copying and pasting everything, what would the internet be? This would be the 90s. You're rewriting people's manifestos and shit.
Yeah, you know what, man? I love a good manifesto.
And I can copy paste them. I do.
This is why research in college was always so difficult for me. I'm like, manifesto sounds boring. Sounds like a lot of words. So what do you want to crack it off with first, man?
Well, I don't want to get jumped straight into the Batman because I think that's what everyone's expecting to. You want to start with Punisher? This should be fun. Yeah,
I have no idea. I'm coming in cold, so let me know what's going on.
Well, I was completely surprised as to what happened. So, but apparently, Jason Aaron, writer of Thor, God Butcher, and all that stuff. He started on Wolverine. It's actually interesting. I love the guy's career. On Image Comics, I don't know if he ended the series or not, but he wrote the anthology series called Southern Bastards.
Oh, that was supposed to be really good, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And there's no supernatural stuff going on. It's just stories of the South, crazy shit that he saw in the South that he decided to turn into comic books. You know what I mean? And so it's really good stuff. But he is currently working on a limited series of the Punisher. Now, of course, he is notorious for being the guy who changed the Punisher's logo. Now he's about to finish his run, and so basically people are saying Punisher's Marvel's next big thing in the MCU. He's going to be on the docket to get a show and to be back in the whole thick of things. So there's a big argument as to which writer they're going to give this series to. Now, I don't know if you know about the comic companies, but nowadays they take like the big names from the 90s and they give them like executive jobs where it has nothing to do with creativity. So Eric Larson is apparently chief creative officer of Image Comics.
Okay.
Which is just like, I don't know. So he states whoever does the next Punisher should make him gay to piss off all the homophobes who wear his logo during January 6th.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
And so, my first argument is I'm like, well, how do you know any of those people are homophobes? Do you know them personally? Are you making assumptions about people because of their political affiliations.
Okay.
And one writer has spoken up, and he says, "If I'm in the running for Punisher, if I am made writer on Punisher, I will make him gay." Eric.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And I assume that Marvel responded to this swiftly, like, "Don't you ever speak like you have feelings or opinions ever again." And this doesn't have to do with his take. Marvel/Disney is notorious in this one industry, comics. Like, they'll take some slack from actors, right? Because they're like, "Hey, this person is bringing me in money," but they're like, "Who spoke out of turn?" The
Someone
comic
a
writers.
writer of a comic book.
Kill that nerd.
Public puts on a gif of Tom has Jerry over his lap and he's spanking him.
That's not Jerry. That's Tom's bastard child.
Oh my god, that gets even weirder. Or gets even worse.
D Love says, "I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned Moon Knight, or is that another show?" We have covered Moon Knight, and we are extremely excited for that show.
I
There's
cannot wait
like
for that show.
A superhero struggling with schizoaffective disorder to really tingle your palate.
Yeah, no, it's looking really good. Actually, that show, and this is how shows should be run. Very little drama coming out of there.
Yeah.
No one's causing trouble. Was Oscar Isaac is just like a normal dude. He doesn't do anything weird. He's not tweeting weird shit. I don't know what his politics are.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing about that, man. The worst thing that could happen is one of the actors unfortunately passed away, and that was tragic to hear, and we are all saddened by that. Let's continue talking about this Punisher thing, right? So, what was Marvel's response to this writer?
No, they haven't made any public response. This is people tweeting back and forth.
Okay.
People have just noticed these tweets, and they're like, "What?"
All right. So here's the thing, right? You know me, man. I don't believe in changing a character from its, their original race. I don't believe in changing them from their original sexual orientation, but I don't have an issue with people creating characters who are gay, who are trans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My position always will remain. I want people to have original characters for these groups, right? I want it to make sense. I want the writing to be good. I don't want it to be substandard. I want it to be great storytelling. I don't want it just to be about this character being gay or this character being black. So with that said, you can put your pitchforks down. I'm not talking to any of you highly educated people in this chat or the other chat. I'm talking to anyone that'll catch the recap. I want to say it again. I have no issue with transgender, gay, non-binary characters in comic books. Okay. I just want them to be original characters. If you're talking about representation, true representation is creating something new and then putting all your creative weight behind it to make it good.
And so actually, and Marvel is notorious for doing that, particularly with gays.
Oh, 100%.
So they made Iceman gay, like, even though years and years of staunch heterosexuality, I guess to drum up sales because they didn't have gay people or something, and they were like, make him gay.
Right.
I know in the Ultimate universe, I understand the Ultimate is not the main universe. Remember, they made Colossus gay.
Yes, it did.
I feel like, and the thing is, so they could check a box and say we have a gay guy on our team.
So parallel universes are different, but here's the thing: North Star was actually, I believe, the first openly gay character in Marvel.
Yes.
And this is before this was a thing where they were trying to, drum up sales, and they did nothing with the storyline because it was back then when they did this in the mid or early 90s. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Mid 90s. It was definitely mid 90s.
Mid 90s when the announcement was made. This was when a time where something like that was extremely weighty, and I was like,
wow.
Oh,
it made the news. I remember it made the news.
Yeah, it made the news, and I was just like, wow. And I went out and I bought Alpha Flight books.
It was Alpha Flight of all comics to make the news. For those of you who don't know, that's like a D-level superhero team. That's like not even second tier. That's like fourth tier.
Let me just read what James wrote here. It's usually the least interesting thing about them. I agree. James Public says it's also a bad reason to make a character gay just to piss off some homophobes. That is a great take, Public. James says, I don't care who a superhero wants to bang. They're busy defeating supervillains. Exactly. And Public finishes with, that's not the kind of representation queers deserve.
I agree, Public. I absolutely agree. And so I think the best take I've heard on this was from Nerd Roddick. Somebody asked him what he thought of this, and then he said, well, is the writer did the writer talk about what story he's gonna write? Like, is it any good? And that's what he was thinking. Like, have they forgot to mention, is his story any good that he's gonna do this in? Like,
exactly.
Because that should absolutely would be what it's about. It should be about the fans and not about. There's just this race to do this kind of like. Here's the problem. Here's basically the problem, and I'm gonna get canceled. So let's do it.
Right.
Representation has become weaponized, where it's the corporations are using it to get paid.
Right.
I feel like it's disingenuous.
Right.
It can't be doing the communities they claim to serve any favors.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm. No.
And so why do people fall for it is the big question.
You know why? Because I think it falls in line with public's take on this, and shout out to them. Here's the thing, right? It's more weighty to create a new character, right? And say, this is the backstory for this character. This is how this character fits into the greater scheme of the overall story, and then building off of that. And you know why corporations don't like doing things like that? Because that means that they have to invest time. Money, not so much. I know they're just like, we'll throw money at any problem, but investing time means that this is not just a flash in the pan, right? You got to listen to what I'm saying here. Then for them to really invest time in building up a gay or a non-binary or a transgender character would mean that they are not just trying to placate people, man.
Right.
And they are not into that. And here's the thing that's really crazy, right? And they wonder why the LGBTQ plus community doesn't show up for this. It's because it's a clear play. And I think they think people are stupid. But again, Disney's about to give us mutants. So, hey, the X-Men are coming to the MCU, bro.
Yeah, the problem is when they do stuff like this, they are not going to earn, in terms of writing, any emotional payoff for anything they do with their character.
Exactly. And listen, as two Christians, I know we're bound to get burned off this planet. But whenever they do the same thing with Christians, and Christians fall for it hook, line, and sinker. In fact, QAnon was the biggest troll on Western Christians that we have seen in quite some time. And so many Christians bought into that nonsense. But they do it where they're like, this character is Christian and you should support him because he's Christian.
I should buy Alpha Flight because there's a Christian in it.
Why? Why should I do that? I don't there's some Christians I don't like spending time with. I love them and the power of the Lord, but I don't want to hang out with them. I don't
Christians are the worst.
I don't want to.
I'm a self-hating Christian. People are like, you coming to the picnic? I'm like, nope.
I'm not coming to the picnic.
Pastor Debbie wants to have a word with you. Nope, no, she doesn't. I'm going out the back.
I'm going to watch a movie. Like, so say for instance, like a character like Daredevil, like it's always been a thing that he's Catholic since the inception of the character.
It's important. It's rooted into the point, and that's why he chooses the devil as his image.
Yeah, and you know what's great about Daredevil, like when they did the War of the Realms, right? Daredevil had to come face to face, and they followed this story too. This has been something that had been brewing for a long time. He's fighting Asgardians, right? So for the first time, he has to come to grips with the scope of his view, right? He took on the mantle of Heimdall for a little while in that comic, and he saw everything, and he was finally exposed because Heimdall is a cosmic aware.
He has powers. He can see everything everywhere at all times.
So when Daredevil came back from War of the Realms, this was a crisis of faith for him, and they made that into a good story. And you know why it was a good story? Because this is something that had been rooted in this character. I would rather we go back to when North Star came out and see how that character has progressed. How things have changed. Where that's the story people wanted.
And so, what's actually interesting? I want to talk about North Star right now because I was one of those idiots who collected North Star, Alpha Flight, even though everyone said, "What are you reading?" Because I used to just consume any comic that was in front of me.
Yeah.
And so, since the 80s, I'm going to give props to Chris Claremont, the writer of this.
Right.
It was obvious, and even I was a kid at the time. It was obvious that he was gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so there's literally a scene where they're done doing their crime fighting things, their superhero government things, and he dresses up. He's like in a suit. This is in the 80s, and he's walking out. And Guardian, the leader, is just like, "Where you headed?" He's like, "I'm just out for drinks with a friend." And the friend comes, and he's another dude. And he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? How's it going?" And it's like this awkward moment where no words are said, and they leave together.
Wow.
And even I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, he's gay."
Yeah.
They never said it. And so he doesn't get props. It's so weird. It wouldn't be a decade later till he gets props to coming out of the closet. But there were constant scenes like that where he was clearly dating men.
Yeah.
But because they weren't allowed to say it, they just didn't say it. But it was in the comic. It was clearly in the comic.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up, man, because this is not comics related, but Anne Rice is a pioneer in this regard, right?
Oh.
Anne Rice is a huge pioneer in this regard. Obviously, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Anne Rice's son is gay, and she's never directly said this, but you can draw the parallels that she did say that the inspiration for some of her characters came from her son and his friend group, but the vampires and Interview with a Vampire and the Anne Rice universe, it's clear as day, right?
Yes.
It's clear as day, and it goes both ways, no pun intended. Like with the female vampires, once they become vampires, they're not worried about a certain type of sexuality because their members stop working. So they kind of like go to this other place where the attraction is based on something else. But she never got the props for that. And she took a lot of slack.
Oh, yeah. Actually, people mock her for it. People are like, you and your gay vampires.
Yeah. And I'm like, and you like Twilight, bro? Come on. Those things are sparking.
I'm not going to say who it is. A loving, amazing human being. But were you there for movie night? I was watching Interview with a Vampire with a bunch of young people in my Discord.
I was there.
And one girl just blatantly bursts out. She goes, "Are these guys gay or what?" And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if vampires work that way, but I sort of, I guess, kind of, it's hard, but it's so funny. She caught on. She was like, "What's up with these dudes?"
They lived with each other for like 100 years, man.
Get off their back. Stop judging them.
Yeah, the Punisher thing, man. Okay, so you do this, congratulations to the Quartering and that whole clique over there. They'll have more content to cover, and then
more. This is the thing. These things fuel this rage.
Yes,
speaking of rage, right?
But
it's going to be a whole bunch of these incels, not even incels. It's going to be incels, but they're like, what do we call them? Men rights activists who are going to be like, "F this."
I don't. Honestly, I'm not trying to disparage that group. I'm trying to be cool here, man. Being serious.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, not you. But it's like the men's right groups. You ever listen to a record and it's like dope. Oh, went a little too far. I've gone down that rabbit hole of listening to men's rights groups on YouTube. And the first 2 videos I watched, I was like, okay, make some valid points. I can see how these are issues, and we should be aware of these things. By the 4th video, one guy was just screaming in the camera like, "You don't understand how hard it is to be me."
Yeah, so I don't even mess with videos like that. I actually, back when I used to live in Virginia, I had a close friend.
Hold up.
Cancel, hold up. I had a close friend down there who was a men's rights activist, and he also read all those pickup artist books.
Oh yeah,
and he believed that he was like by reading these books. Trust me, he was never getting laid. He was an incel in training or something. But he was a young man who thought that if he read these books, like he taught me peacocking.
No, okay. Oh yeah.
He would go around. He had some crazy code name. He was like, "Don't call me." He was like, "Don't call me Adam. Call me Roulette." What? And I said, "What?" And he's like, "No woman will forget your name if you have a weird alias."
Well, hold on for a second. I'm not going to get into my old weird alias, but that's true. But you don't want to. You got to ask yourself a question: do you want to be remembered, or do you want to live in infamy? I know those two things can. There's a correlation there, but living in infamy.
I just want to let you know. Obviously, guys, I'm not Mantis outside of the stream world, and when I go to bars and I meet women, I do not introduce myself as Mantis. Believe it or
not. And when he peacocks, he's like, "I'm the fat Mantis."
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. By the way, I'm talking about my dick.
Disgusting. You're a horrible human being.
In the chat, we got Public talking about what Marvel's up to. Who can be more woke without actually being woke? Right. Yeah, it's a weapon. It's always done wrong. Right. James says it's such a good point. We talk about diversity and representation, which are important, but we stopped asking, was it a good story?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, that might be the future of Punisher, and I can see people doing it. And it is wrong that they're doing it to piss off certain fans.
Yeah, that's dangerous too.
That is just so. Why would you want to piss off fans?
Listen, why would you want to piss off crazy people? Now, listen, I do believe that you need to expose bad thinking. When it's been said publicly, it should be addressed publicly. And I feel like, things should be debated, polite discourse, less than polite discourse, but no ad hominem attacks. Don't attack people's families and stuff like that. I don't believe in doxing people and stuff, but I don't believe in aggravating people either. Now, it's one thing to say, hey, you are morally wrong in this situation. What you did was horrible. It's another thing like, you know what I'm saying?
Public says, I wonder if he ever got laid.
No.
I'll tell you the thing that actually made me stop hanging out with him is he was also a quote unquote wizard. And someone made fun of him one day, and then like a couple weeks later, that person's house burnt down, and he claimed he used a spell to make that happen. And then I said to myself, I don't want to hang out with this kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I vanished. Like I stopped giving him callbacks,
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Here's what I'm saying. If I am in charge of Marvel, the way I see it, I would keep all my work apolitical. Because everyone has the right to a superhero. Obviously, I'm not gonna like change the morals. The morals should be good morals. Superheroes are supposed to have superhuman morals, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna be doing the good fight, but I'm not gonna do anything to, like you said, aggravate people, piss them off, give them a reason to boycott me. I mean, is money not green?
Bro, this thing has been going on since the Iliad, the Odyssey. You know what I'm saying? I remember reading the Iliad in like the 3rd grade. Shout out to New York City schools systems making us read the Iliad and the Odyssey in the 3rd grade.
I'm gonna be real. I hear horror stories about other places in the world where they're like,
"Oh,
we were learning fake history or like crazy shit like that." And I'm like, okay, New York is like a great place to learn.
Bro, the area we went to school, like that area, that Midtown area, they were not playing around scholastically. Like, I remember when I told my mom we were going to read, she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, but like this has been a part of Western literature, for years. You look at the relationship between Achilles and I can't remember if it was his first cousin or you remember what I'm talking about. Like in the action, it's not what they presented in the movie Troy, right?
Yeah.
Like in the actual book, Homer's book, Achilles and his cousin had a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And it's a part of the story. It's a huge part of the story, actually. That's why Achilles goes beast mode when he gets killed.
Yeah.
I hate when people think they're reinventing the wheel. What worked about that was it was a part of the story. And it was a huge part of the story, and it made you feel, Achilles was kind of a dick in that story. Like if you, so you don't really feel that bad for him. But I agree with Public, man. Stop trying to market to people and just tell them stories. But at the same time, when you're telling that story, you got to talk about the people that are in society, and it's unavoidable. But let's just talk about the character, the Punisher, historically for a second here, right? I think this goes a little bit deeper. This has been going on since January 6th, and Marvel is like kind of folding to the pressure, which is they don't want their old school vigilante who doesn't compromise. They don't want their Batman out in the front. The Punisher's officially become that uncle who comes to the barbecue and you're like, oh, don't talk to Uncle Frank. He's got some strange views.
He was in the war. He was in the war. He seems
like the Punisher is non-compromising, right? And it's hard for them to reconcile a character like that today. And I can't go too deep in this, but imagine putting a character like the Punisher in some of the social settings that we've had in our world today. A character who believes no matter what, if the crime is violent, it should be punished with violence.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second, folks. Let it sit in.
I've thought about this for a while. That I was like thinking that I was like, is the Punisher even viable as a character anymore? Because think about how many people now hate police.
Yeah, but he's different than the cops, man. Because remember, there were issues where he took out entire corrupt precincts.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. However, people look at him and they're like, another white man with a gun. Right?
And that's what they're trying to move away from, man.
Remember in the first episode of Peacemaker?
Yeah.
When he's talking to the orderly
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
order is like, well, I just feel uncomfortable with you with that gun. I mean, historically, if you're really trying to keep the peace, you're probably shooting minorities out there. And he's like, I promise the next time I kill a man, I'm going to first weigh out what his race is. And if it's just.
He's like, I promise to kill as many white people as he's like, thank you.
Hannah Banana, welcome in. How are you?
It's so crazy, man. This whole thing is nuts. But yeah, if you can make the story dope, you know, even though I hate the concept of black Cyclops. Actually, no, there's no way to reconcile that. Listen,
make Cyclops black. Make him black. We all want to see a black Cyclops. Admit it, damn it. How cool would that be? Cyclops comes out. Yo, you don't want to see. Who was my pick for Jean Grey? Who was my pick for Jean Grey?
I don't know.
Evan Woods from Westworld.
Okay.
I think she should be. Imagine Yahya Abdul-Mateen and her hooking up. That would be hot as fuck.
This is more of your biracial agenda. You just want more gray people. That's all this is. You want
It is absolutely true. I want more people like me. Yo, I'm the future. I'm sorry, hold up. I love you, but you're the past.
You when you said that, public probably just spit their drink right now.
People like me, mixed-blooded people, is the future. We're gonna be beautiful.
Right.
Bronze-skinned mulattoes, beautiful eyes,
unable to visit Africa for extended periods of time.
You just wait and see.
With your curly froze running around everywhere.
Well, yeah, with our ambiguous curls, they're like, is it a fro? What is that?
Oh yeah, like Pharrell Williams running around.
Oh man, it's gonna be wonderful. Oh, the future's gonna be a great place.
The future is now.
The future is now. You're looking at it right now. Fat Mantis, you heard it here first, folks. Moving on to our next crazy thing. So there is a conflict overseas, and as we know, sanctions are all up on the rise.
Right.
And a sanction that has happened, Rolling Stone decided to cover. The sanction is that main provoker country and its little sidekick country that's causing problems as well.
Right.
They have banned OnlyFriends users from that area.
No.
And so Rolling Stone did a sympathetic piece about the poor OnlyFans workers who can't pay their rent because of this war. Ignoring the fact that children and moms are being separated as they are hurtled onto trains to get out of there before they're bombed or killed.
Right.
But instead of focusing on them, they're worried about the OnlyFans girls.
You gotta have the priorities in the right place. This is what, they are a natural resource. And by the way, you sexist, there are men on OnlyFans as well. You man.
Oh, I'm on OnlyFans. Are you kidding me?
I saw your foot video. I gave it 2 thumbs down.
That was you, wasn't it? Everyone else seems to love them.
Yo, this is absolutely amazing. So, you know, Rolling Stones, let's talk about them as a publication. Rolling Stones has become more and more irrelevant over the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah, totally irrelevant. It's the least relevant thing in the world. James Roberts says, I saw an article about how Americans can't deal with stressful world news. People are like, what about the poor Ukrainians? It's true. We're worried about the OnlyFans people because we can't deal with the real news of what's happening.
Now, you know what? I want to say that's a bad take, but it's true. And it's not, I don't know if it's entirely Americans so much as like the people who control the flow of news and then the idiots who buy into that. Somewhere, somehow, someone is going to bring up the rights of sex workers in this conversation. I get emails, Mantis. I get emails and they're like, Steve, you made your man. And I'm like, okay, listen, you do you, boo. But if you're trying to get me the way out, the injustices of this world and the horrors that are being visited because of this conflict, if you're telling me that I'm supposed to care more about the poor OnlyFans model versus the husband that just said goodbye to his family because he is of fighting age.
Right, and they're not going to let him leave the country, so he has to fight.
I want you to remember what I said about being the mad fan. Meet me on 42nd Street in Broadway.
Yeah, no, the rights of sex workers are constantly brought up, and I understand it, and I'm not saying they shouldn't. And so there have been here's the thing. You know why people try to boycott or shut down certain thought processes?
Why?
It's because once you open that floodgate, you can't close it again.
Okay.
And so people who were uncomfortable originally in humanizing sex workers were worried the conversation would get out of hand. It has kind of gotten out of hand, but of course we should humanize everyone. I believe in the rights of sex workers. I'll give you an example. Wasn't Rolling Stone? I'm actually forgetting who actually did this. This was like a year ago.
That means he's making it up. Go ahead.
And so what it was is the article was about they said the real enemies of underage sex workers are police. And the article is about how underage sex workers have to hide from cops. They live in fear all the time, in fear that a cop will find them and bring them to like an orphanage or some sort of like social system that will get them out of it.
Okay.
And I'm like, underage sex worker, you mean the kid who's being molested?
Yeah.
A cop should see an underage sex worker and stop that from happening.
100%.
But somebody made an article literally justifying that, saying that these poor children have to run from cops. So like, that's how horrible cops are. They're evil monsters.
So this is always an interesting conversation about the police in this. Now, if you're talking about somewhere like Brazil, now I'm not saying I understand, but I get it, because we're talking about a very corrupt police system where they could be chasing these children who've been forced into sex labor and then themselves victimizing the children. So give it some more context. But if your not you, I'm talking about whoever wrote this article. But if your context is like, oh no, these children who are freely having sex with adults should be protected from the police. And I'm like, yo, you got things really messed up in life, bro.
And that's what it is. While people are trying to make a clever argument, a profitable argument, they are forgetting what the arguments are about, or they're forgetting that people are involved in them.
You're an adult. You can do whatever you want. Here's my thing. I had a heated discussion with someone about this, and I was like, no, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. If you're an adult, I'm not trying to protect you from your consequences. Just know that there are consequences, and maybe you won't be the one to experience it, but there are consequences with the work trade. Children, you cannot make that argument. There's no legible, logical argument that you can make to justify that. And you could try to use linguistics, pragmatism, all these things to try to make your argument valid, and you only sound like a crazy person. And just because other crazy people agree with you doesn't make the point any more valid. Like, it doesn't.
And that's the thing. That's my point about social sciences and academia.
Right.
And actually, once a good friend of mine, he got a doctorate, and he's actually a professor right now. But when he was getting his doctorate, he actually was arguing the craziest things for his thesis.
Right.
I said, what do you? It wasn't for his thesis. He was trying to get published.
Right.
During the time he's getting his doctorate, and him and his another friend of mine, good friends, the three of us. But like they were arguing the craziest shit, and I was like, well, what is this about? And he said, this is what academia is. People just need a fresh idea. Doesn't matter if I believe it or not. It's just, this is how I get published.
And this is what's dangerous about it, right? And now back to the topic, right? Because and shout out to you for bringing this one up, man. Because I'd just throw on my phone if I read this article, like literally. Well, not my phone.
Trust me, I throw this bitch around all the time. That's
I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I would have grabbed a poor person's phone and be like, "You don't need this Motorola."
I have a poor person's phone. I use an LG. It's important. So that's why I treat it like
poor. You're so poor, it makes me sick.
Treated like a red-headed prostitute. But was that not the joke to make on this story?
Oh my gosh! But it's insanity, right? So okay, so let's assume the point, right? Rolling Stones. So the OnlyFans are not being allowed to work. Should they not be fleeing the country?
Oh no! They're saying from the opposite, from the other side.
Okay,
and they were interviewing them, and they were like, they're like, so and so. Poor Yevgenia is like, I can't pay my rent because I can't do my OnlyFans. Like, what the hell is going on? Poor Yevgenia.
It's crazy though, because it wasn't too long ago. I believe China Yes, it was China. They banned the hub. I want to say someone do a quick Google search on that. I can't remember if they banned the hub or they banned porn outright in
I
China.
wouldn't be surprised. That wouldn't shock me at all.
And
Because they
people,
ban everything over there. Right? They're just very unfun people.
but some people had some very, very interesting reactions to that. They're like, "How could they do this?" And I'm like, "Well, what are they really losing out on?" Exactly, and that's as far as I'm going to take it. Because you know why? I got a show coming up tomorrow, and I don't want to get canceled, so I'm trying to make sure Spy on a Date happens. But this is idiotic. So, what was the conclusion of the argument? What did they feel? Did Rolling Stones present some type of solution to help the?
Oh no, they just want us to think about what they said is they were like, these women don't have voices. No one's worried about them and their situation, and they just wanted to bring light to it.
Okay.
And
So I
it's
assume
just
that
so
Rolling
bad
Stone
taste.
found these people and made a sizable donation. Is how that
They're
paragraph.
like, we'll pay for your services. Because let's face it, we know OnlyFans isn't the only thing these girls are doing.
This is your world, man. Like, you know what? I watch Charlie Brown and I watch safe, wholesome content. Like what's wholesome? Nope, that guy got canceled. He went to jail for attacking people. You know, I basically watch the Golden Girls now. That's it's safe to say.
Yo, I heard you say that the other day. You want to get into that, or you want to talk about? You all right, bro?
What, the Golden Girls? It's hilarious. I never realized how amazing that show was. My wife puts it on when we're just sitting there, and I'm like, "This is amazing." These old women were just up to shenanigans all day long. I don't know what, come on, like
I'm not gonna lie. I was on a road trip like a couple months back. Oh, over the summer, I went down to Virginia.
Right.
And there wasn't much to watch inside, because you get basic cable in a motel, and so I watched the Golden Girls.
They're amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Shout out to Bird's View. I assume that's Bird Loving Fool. Welcome in.
Bird loving, welcome in, brother.
Hey, I'm still on my march to get to 50. So if you're coming into the Twitch channel for the first time, please hit that follow button. I appreciate you.
Yeah, please, let's do this. Let's get there. Thank you, Izzy, for the gem. Public friend says you can never ban porn. People will find a way. Absolutely.
I think China can ban porn.
And you are right. They obviously they're going to use other means. They're going to use other means, but they did ban a Pornhub in China.
Thank you so much for that, Jim. Public. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be as empathetic to this situation as possible because it's true. Let's look at the point. There are people who make their living on OnlyFans, right? And
it's true. Obviously, there's some people who can throw their entire job away and they're like, I can just do this all day.
That's what Tiger did. Tiger said, I ain't making no music anyone wants to hear, so now I'm doing OnlyFans. And they should be considered in this entire thing. This is what we call idiotic timing. And what was the point? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If I'm an editor, if I'm the lead editor, I'm like, Dave, you came in my office, you pitched this story, but what's the point? What are you trying to? Well,
here's what probably happened. He pitched it, and what the editor said.
He pitched it. He said it.
Like, that's genius. It has sex. People don't think like this. Do it. And that's probably what he was thinking, right?
The editor's sweating
because I'm sure that Rolling Stone, no offense to Rolling Stone fans out there, probably don't have any actual integrity. I think is the word.
They don't have a soul. El Gucci man is in the building.
Oh, El Gooch, welcome in.
The men and women of this great fighting force, which is the American United States military. Thank you for your service, my brother. We appreciate you for being here. Two freedom sucking sons of bitches like ourselves, we're just sitting around abusing the rights that you gave us. So I think
yeah, thank you so much.
So let me ask you a question. Did you when you were clicking on this article, any comments? Were people talking about it, anything like that?
Of course. If you look over, if you end up going to the Twitter side of it, because that's what we're going to see inside the magazine. If you actually see if you follow the link to the article, they edit it. Obviously, they keep idiotic statements away. But if you look at the Twitter, people are being like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And it's going back and forth. You know what I mean? Twitter is a war zone every day, all the time, right?
Yeah.
So, but I just had to bring that up. We had to talk about that because
I'm sorry, I was totally tuned in I'm laughing because whenever you say Twitter, you get this microaggression look on your face too. It's like,
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. People always assume they're like, oh, Mantis has a problem with Spoon. It's not Spoon. Twitter, I absolutely do. Like, I would love to get in a boxing ring with whoever the CEO of Twitter is right now.
Oh, he's under some fire right now too, man.
I freaking hate that. I think I told you what they did to me, right?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
I do, and I want to cry. Gray Winthrop thinks it's YouTuber X who did this to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to believe she did this to me, man. But I was accused of being a bot, and so my account cannot like or comment or send direct messages, but it can still browse. And so, or I can't vote in polls or whatever. And so I've sent them multiple messages. No one ever gets back to you on that shit.
No, they don't.
And they're like, we have reason to believe you are a bot. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the least bot motherfucker you've ever met. I'm a human, man. I'm a human. So, I was talking. I was having a DM conversation, long-term DM conversation with a YouTuber X. There's that, and then there's also an enemy that I met on Twitter who is the leader of the pack of Disney Insider.
Okay.
Which are these guys who just do gossip about their whole platform, their whole website is to do rumors about Disney. Okay. They don't work for Disney, they're not part of it. Me and him have gotten into serious beef. And so he's definitely a candidate.
Yeah. You got a lot of enemies out there, man. But
if you don't have enemies, you're doing it wrong, man.
It's true. I am such a yes man that I don't have any enemies. I just have paranoia and fear.
Public says I love Disney gossip.
It's the best. And you know what's great about Disney? They always have time in their day for charitable acts and making fun of YouTubers for crying when Luke Skywalker came back on The Mandalorian.
So this goes back to exactly what we were talking about when we're talking about the whole Punisher thing.
Yeah.
Or even like you said, what is it? Pablo Hidalgo making fun of Star Wars Theory for crying when he saw Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And all these things. It's just like, why be hostile to your fans?
I don't get it.
Clearly, someone who's crying about Star Wars has feelings about that. Clearly, they're probably the guy who buys more Star Wars shit than anyone in the chat. Or in
made a whole channel, made a movie in which I don't believe any of those fan films, which he makes really high quality stuff, folks. He made a 3D animated movie.
That's right. They try to copyright strike him.
Yeah, and he gave up monetizing it, but he paid for that stuff out of pocket. If you haven't seen his Mace Windu Comes Back to Life for Revenge video, go check it out. Star Wars Theory. It's absolutely beautiful. Why would you want to alienate and attack someone like that? Even when he gives even when he criticizes Star Wars, it's still in love of the brand. He's always representing the brand.
Not only that, if you don't put copyright strikes, if you don't go after these people, the only thing these people are doing is generating buzz and love for your product.
They've never understood fan fiction. And you know what? You know who had a great take on this? It's not fan fiction, but it's similar to this conversation. Bill Gates was once famously sitting in his office, and some of his developers came in and they brought him a newly hacked first generation Xbox. Brought it into him like, hey, this community has learned how to pirate games, and they're also not homebrew was still very much in its infancy, but they brought it to him like they're doing some interesting things here. And Bill Gates, go look it up, article. This is fact, this is history. He was amazed by it, and he wanted to bring them into the fold because he understood that this open source use of his technology in the piracy, I'm sure he was gonna like, that's got to go. But you guys are more than welcome to do what you want with the technology. Could you imagine what would have happened if they made the Xbox open source? Yeah, there would have been some hiccups along the way, but people would be so entrenched in it.
Oh my God, it would have gone such a long way. And I bet you anything, the thing that stopped that was probably a room full of lawyers.
Oh, absolutely. It was the board.
Like, no, we can't do that. A board of directors, things like that. And they're like, no, you can't allow that to be open source.
Yeah.
Because you know how we a mutual friend of ours gave me an old PS4.
Yes.
And there was dust all over. I think I told you there's stains from like alcoholic drinks with punch in it It stained on it and dust. It was barbaric. I'm surprised it worked.
Candle wax all over it. I don't understand why you had candle wax on
honey marks on it. I don't get what's going on here. But at one point, and so my sister said you should not only clean off the top and inside the ports, you should open it.
Yeah.
And blow, clean the inside with dustbuster. And I was going to, and then she looked it up and she said, "Oh wait, it says it invalidates any warranty. If you open your PS4, it invalidates its warranty." Now, obviously, this is beyond warranty. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. But I'm saying that's how hard up they are. They're like, you cannot even open your property that you bought.
Yeah. The only thing
we want nothing to do with you.
I will say this over Sony versus Microsoft in regards to the console. PlayStation has always made a way for you to install a drive expansion, right? So you don't invalidate your warranty if you're putting an SSD or something in there, but your sister is 100% correct. They don't want people modding their technology. And here's the crazy thing about that friggin' warranty. You're about to make me go on a tirade. So you don't, let's say within the first year, you don't do anything. You don't move the safety screw. That's what your sister's referring to. There's a little piece of black tape on every PlayStation that's over a specific screw. Let's say I need to use my quote unquote warranty. I dare any of you to try to use your manufacturer warranty on a device you bought. They will not return your phone calls. How did we go from OnlyFans to this? Folks, we're talking about the intrinsic evil of rich people and idiots.
Well, I'm sure I'm just going to wake a couple of people up in chat of capitalism. And so I'm not a hater of capitalism, but I do think sometimes it goes too far. And this is an example of it where we buy a product and we don't even actually own it.
No,
because we can't make a modify. Have you heard about the whole Tesla thing and the powering up shit?
No.
So there was a guy who bought a Tesla. And so here's the thing. Right now, there aren't enough like charging stations, obviously. Yeah. So you have to go to you either charge at your home or if you're on the road, there's you can charge at a Tesla's place. So there was this dude who and he actually made a YouTube video of it. He opened up his Tesla and he turned it into like a fucking badass roadster.
Oh.
And guess what I love Elon Musk. But guess what the company did?
What?
They banned him because he modified it. They banned him from ever using their charging stations. He can only charge at his own personal places because now basically they're like, because you modified our tech, we no longer will help you out.
Yeah, and that's something that's very, very dangerous, man. And it's listen, the open source community has been screaming about this for years. Dangerous times, man. I will say this. I want to bring up something you guys are talking about in the alien thing because I think this relates to the technology thing. I just want to throw my hat in there in that conversation because there was a great conversation. If we think about the advancement of technology for indigenous groups when invaders came in, that is the point that Lainey was trying to make. Lainey, I was there. I got your back. I understand what you were trying to say. Moving right along. Last thing I want to say about OnlyFans, right?
You use it a lot.
I don't get the concept of it. Like, here's what I don't understand, right? This must be the voyeur, the need for more in people. It's like you have the hub. Why are you doing this?
And most videos, even though they've been increasing what their monetized content is, most videos are free on the hub.
Yeah.
I don't even understand anyone who pays for porn. You got an addiction, bro.
You need some help.
You need help, bro. That's 1-800-523-4481. Go talk to someone, man.
Yeah, get some help.
If you're paying for your porn, you got a problem.
You're going too far.
Going too far.
Did you clean off the PlayStation properly though? Did you get all that candle wax off of there? All that cheese.
Oh, it's clean. It's clean. I've yet to do the open thing. I am gonna open it and do the thing. I haven't done it yet, but
we need to get
outside and the ports should be clean.
We need to get an SSD in there for you. But at any rate, what's the next topic?
You want to just keep talking about OnlyFans the whole time?
No, because I don't understand it. But shout out to y'all doing y'all damn thing. Here's an interesting take. If you guys want to hear an interesting take on OnlyFans, and warning, trigger alert. There's a pimp by the name of Sharp, and he has some very strong views about OnlyFans, and it's
obviously it's cut into his business.
Yeah. Go check that out. Great interview with Sharp the pimp on No Jumper. No
Jumper. Okay, that's the shout out for the night. Lainey says I would totally start an OnlyFans. Lainey, we know, but we all know your husband would not allow it. So.
That wasn't a dare. Don't let Mantis dare you into something. What do we got next?
Public says then do it. What are you waiting for? Oh, look, that's who's egging her on. That's on. We're going to talk about Discord. So Discord apparently is starting to ban people for behaviors done off of Discord.
Really?
That's hysterical. But behaviors done off Discord.
What? Okay, what behaviors? Tell me. Give me store. Give me context.
And they're using, and I gotta say, once again, I am not pro. I'm pro freedom of speech, but I'm not pro this behavior. I do believe social media should have certain rules.
Yeah, of course.
But for using quote unquote nebulous hate speech, on other platforms, not even bringing the link into Discord. Discord has been, people can now narc on you for something you did on a different platform, and they can be like, we're banning you because you said hate speech on Instagram.
Wow. Well, hey, so here's the thing. The cautionary tale of Dr. Disrespect.
And I don't even know all the details on poor Dr.
No one knows all the details.
Right. There's all this no one's really talking about.
But they made, because of the way he was deplatformed, the first thing people assumed that it had to do with some type of sexual allegation, which I want you folks to know something, right? The law cannot be superseded in these instances. And if Dr. Disrespect had done something where he, I can't say it because we're on YouTube, but if he had forced himself on someone without consent, there's no contract he can sign to protect him from that.
Right. And this is for everybody, just to let you know, even if you've signed it and then later on you see a crime, non-disclosure does not supersede a crime. You can always talk about a crime without getting sued.
Yeah.
Even if you signed a non-disclosure. So it's weird in film all the time you see that. Like someone works for a shady company and the shady company does a crime and they're like, well, you have a non-disclosure thing. I'm like, no, if you're killing people or you're doing something weird, they can clearly narc on you.
Now it's different if you sign if you sign paperwork where you've basically said that I will not prosecute, because then you're doing that you have to do that in front of some legislation, in front of us, closed court system and stuff like that. Blah 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 blah. You all know what instance I'm talking about. No need to dredge that up. But the Discord thing is crazy, man. Because one, what are you doing in in my Discord if you're gonna narc on me? Two, there should be consequences from MFers that say wild shit. You should get checked. You can't just be saying anything you want. But at the same time, who gets to decide? That's the problem, man. Just in the words of a great comic book, who watches The Watchmen, right? Who's policing these social media police?
And actually, it's funny because one of the things that come up, and once again, since we are on YouTube, since we're decent, good people who don't try to mess with other people. I'm not going to say the YouTuber's name, but apparently this YouTuber left Discord for a rival Discord, like a fake Discord.
Right.
This person always said, let me tell you, this person is a male troll who wears a cap and has a beard. And I don't need to go any further. Is just trouble. He constantly claimed he left Discord for Gilded. He's always shilling for Gilded. Gilded is the wannabe Discord.
Hold on for 1 second. Yes, Izzy, your comments don't get hidden here, but you can get me kicked off of Twitch. So I have to remove one of your comments. So you're making me be the police right now.
I think it's funny. Izzy, I am seeing them. I'm just trying to keep a straight face while
don't use that one again, Izzy. You'll get me in trouble.
But ultimately, he kept saying that he left on purpose. And it turns out that other users of Discord were oh, come on, bro.
That was a mistake. I was trying to delete it.
Oh, okay. I thought he did another one. I said, what? But apparently he got kicked out of I don't know who gets kicked out of Discord. I ain't never been even harassed by a mod on Discord. I don't know if they even, they even existed. I thought I could do whatever I wanted on Discord. But apparently people were narking on his Discord because of stuff he said on another platform. And that's why he went to Gilded.
Yeah, man. It's crazy too because I have met Discord mods, and I told you once upon a time I joined a certain YouTuber, very well known comic YouTuber, Discord, and this was not the actual content creator, but one of his mods got at me right stupid. You come in, you're new to someone's channel, it says greetings in this channel, so I'm like, hey, what's going on? Glad to be here. And out of left field, here comes Benny, the power hungry nerd. Like, this is the wrong channel for that. These greetings are only one word greetings. You have to go to the channel that has 12 or more word greetings. And I'm like,
that's insane. For starters, that is an insane distinction. And I cannot stand that. And I want to blame young people. I want to take a minute to talk shit about young people because you guys are horrible. And so here's what it is. I noticed there are in the Discord scene, people come into my room and like people that I'm good friends with who are younger than me. They're like, I don't know how to use your Discord. And I'm like, well, you post things. Want to put on a little red hat and dance like a monkey, right? Come on, you post things. And they're scared of posting the wrong thing in the wrong channel. And I'm like, I'm not going to kick you for doing that. But they have this fear because the Discord culture is like that.
Yeah.
And actually, a good friend of ours, me and you got called out on this. A good friend of ours.
Oh, yeah.
We were in their thing and we started putting GIFs. We were responding with GIFs.
Yeah.
And this person, like, they were trying to be cool, but they were like, yo, all images have to be on the images channel. And I said, so I can't respond to someone's word because he's like, this is all words. And I said, can't respond to words with a GIF. They're like, no. I'm like, noted. Like, okay, get a hold of yourself, buddy. Ultimately, I don't ultimately care because it's not rampant. Maybe if it was rampant, I'd care. But why are people so bent out of shape if you do slightly the wrong Discord move?
Here's the thing, man, about this. I don't know, man. People take ownership. I'm not mad at people taking ownership of their platforms, man. You run your Discord. I'm just saying, just be easy, baby. Just be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like just be easy. Be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just get so wild in their Discords, and I'm just like,
so yeah, and they're so into rules and all this thing. And another one I'll say, their Discord, and I love them, so I had to silence it. But they're constantly doing at everyone and giving out constant ultimatums. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a really toxic relationship where the person is like, if you do this, I'll break up with you. If you do that, I'll break up with you. If you don't do that, I'll break up with you. And it gets crazy. It's like that. It's at everyone. Like, by the way, if you do blah, 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 you will be banned. And then the next day they say, at everyone, by the way, if you do blah, 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 you will be banned. And I'm like, I feel like I'm just being scolded all day long. What the fuck, man?
Like Moses just keeps down from the top of the hill, like, know your pain. Public says because all those people from Spoon and Spoon targeted people who are shy and introverted. Those types of people are more likely to be afraid of bad social interaction. It's a good point.
My God, that is the greatest point I've ever heard in my life. Public.
Let me.
I love Public. I'm just going to say
Public. Let me not. The Choice Partner Originals Discord, right? I feel as if those certain people would come in there and just pop stuff off. I'm like, why are you doing this, man? Leave these poor people alone who work for Spoon. Like, you got thoughts, you got feelings. You're go tell your therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like, not
one particular goth girl who said, I think anime should be banned from the platform.
No, I didn't even know that. That's the dumbest thing I've heard today.
A particular grumpy goth girl who I think just needs to be heard occasionally went in there and had the audacity to say we should ban anime from the things, claiming that's what pedos use to attract kids. And I'm like, so because pedos use it, kids can't talk about kid things?
So let's get rid of the candy. Let's get rid of video games. Let's get rid of.
Let's be China. Let's be China. And say Hail Z, President Z, or whatever.
And now you will die, young Skywalker. Man,
Public said I had such a big problem with that. Even people on the team thought that. So when I was hired at that app, one of the things that my handler cited was we're trying to get anime off this platform. And I said, what? And they're like, that's what we want. We want other things. They're like, we'd rather comic book characters. Let's promote comic book characters than anime because they thought it attracted weird things. And I later on was like, yo,
comics don't attract weird things.
All of these video games attract weird people. Anime does, comics does, anything kiddie attracts weirdos and weird
anything
things.
Where you can formulate an opinion or a vice or a kink to, which is everything.
Everything. I agree with you. Absolutely everything.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes people just need, I can't even say what I want to say. See, this is also the disadvantage, of streaming dual casting. And I want you to be prepared for this, Mantis, when you make your dual cast. Like, I'm so used to just going hard on pause. I'm so used to just letting off pause. I'm so used to just saying whatever I want on green room.
I'm so used to banging the shit out of pause. You know what it is weird. As a matter of fact, so we've been doing Fanboy Modeling School for quite some time.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, for those who don't know, Fanboy Modeling School predates either of our times on Spoon.
Yes.
We've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
And we used to do it on it's just a podcast. We used to do it on YouTube, and all it's changed platforms throughout the time. But however, in the early days of it, we felt or we did say whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And the way we're editing ourselves in this particular episode alone, we're scared to talk fully about sex. We're scared to talk about countries who are going to war, current events. We're editing our words and our behaviors so much it's over the top. That what is the point of social media if you need to edit every other thing you say?
It's idiotic. It's idiotic. Public just says, does this mean we should go back to the early episodes so we can cancel you? It's funny because the only thing all the dark episodes have been pulled down, like all the drunken episodes. One time we got so drunk. We got hi Marisol. We got so
hey Marisol, how are you?
We got so drunk, and I listened back to it and I was like, we can never let this hit the air.
Oh my god. No, I remember what you were talking about. We were just babbling and ranting incoherently. It's good times. It's time.
It's just,
I remember I tried to edit. Do you remember I tried to edit it?
Yeah.
And I was every other line I was cutting and pasting, and we went long too because we were drunk. We
like 3 hours
all the time. We were like, it took a 4 hour. We were like, add another thing. I'm not going to finish that statement.
Yeah, I just remember dropping the box wine and the 6-pack of beer I brought, and I was like, let's do this. And next thing I know, I'm like, ah!
And I remember the next week you were like, and another thing, we need to stop drinking on air. And I go, do we really?
I'm like, nope.
And so I issued a thing. I was like, you know what? Why don't we have a rule? We have to be half an hour into the podcast before we start drinking.
Oh, we tried to drink like gentlemen. I remember that.
Yeah. But
you started drinking like immediately. And I was like, bro, I thought you made the rule. What happened?
And I was like, oh, I was talking about wine and liquor. This is beer. Beer doesn't count in any drinking rule anywhere. That's what I think, man.
No, man, I'm telling you right now. That and it's crazy because it's like, here's just something for you to think about. What does it take to get canceled on OnlyFans?
Being I can't even say the country. Being from the certain country that is invading and attacking
yeah, and it's insane.
Independent country.
It's insane, man. It's insane. There's a point that OnlyFans has a shelf life. There's been constant talk about changing the structure of it from the company itself and not doing the adult content anymore. Yeah.
Right. They tried before and they failed, so they realized they were going to go bankrupt.
Yeah. Like that's not what we come here for. The people were like, that's not why we show up.
Unfortunately, here's the thing: companies cannot determine what they are, what their worth is, right? So the problem is you build something. I'll give you an example. Most people don't know this. You know, Instagram.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Instagram currently is owned by Meta. Before it was owned by Meta, aka Facebook overlords, right? It was originally invented. Our app creators originally invented it for people to share their vacation photos.
Oh yeah.
And what happened? Young people infiltrated it and said, "Yo,
We
I'm
should
going to dance on this thing. I'm going to do low cuts. I'm going to do all sorts of shit." And then it went wild, and they were like, "Wait a minute, this is worth money. This is better."
Yeah.
Basically, what it is, they built something they didn't realize what had value, right? Damn, children is right, Kolali. So I'm just saying, like, basically nobody knows. OnlyFans, you realize they didn't not have porn on the agenda when they built it.
Yeah, I know that.
It was meant for content creators like you and me, and we're like, well, we'll do OnlyFans, and if you want to see a video of me and Steve boxing for charity or something, you can get that on that and then donate to watch the video. That's what it was for.
First of all, phrasing. Yeah, it was another form of Patreon. Which by the way, Patreon, man, people got a cold hustle going on Patreon. That's another place where no one's watching. And here's another thing. It's funny that that Izzy said earlier that Facebook had banned them for 7 days. Where if you go into Facebook gaming now, man, there is no one watching what's going on over there. There's some crazy stuff going on in Facebook gaming, man.
I think I told you that girl saving princess.
Yes, you did.
And what she was up to with her ASMR. And so what ended up happening is I, of course, was curious. So I follow her. And you're right. Ain't nobody monitoring that bitch.
No one's watching these people. They are doing they're living their best lives.
Maybe we should go to Facebook gaming.
I broadcasted one of our shows on Facebook gaming and one person came in and I was like, delete. I'm like, get out of here.
What did they do?
They just said some creepy stuff.
They just looked weird.
Strange. Other. I did a PSA regarding the Fanboy Modeling School Twitch that I have not told Mantis about, but I want to make sure I make this announcement before.
I've friended it. I follow it.
No, not my Twitch. Thank you for the follow on my Twitch.
Follow the Fanboy Modeling School on Twitch.
Yeah, so that's going to be the next big push, folks. And Mantis has been a gracious friend, bro ham in life, and allowing me to stream these on my channel so I can get my hours up and, people coming over. Fanboy Modeling School, after I hit my 50 and get the affiliate, will be exclusively streamed on the Fanboy joint account that we have Twitch. Right. So make sure I let y'all know that. I appreciate you. Want to show some love to the brother that showed some love. What is our last topic? Please don't tell me it's Batman.
No, you don't get to get out of this. I don't. You're a black supremacist. You know
Whoa. No, I'm safe.
Why don't you want to talk about Batman? Why? Because he's white?
Is he? I thought he was Canadian.
I don't know. I don't see color. That's the thing about us mixed breed.
You're out.
Not see color.
You're out.
It's Batman. Of course, it's Batman. What do you mean? Well, I hope it's not Batman. You don't want to talk about Batman?
No. I know it's Batman. I just, I know you get a little angry. You get angry and you start punching and throwing stuff.
I get angry.
Yes. You get angry,
but you are the angry one right now. Clearly, you're the angry one.
So let's talk about the reviews. First of all, shout out to RM pointing out that YouTuber X does not know how to use eyeliner and put it on correctly, in spite of being a bona fide millionaire living in their millionaire family home. That is, listen. If my kids start making millions, they got to go. Like there's no reason for you to live here.
Okay, so I want to explain a few things, and it's not going to actually explain or justify anything.
Enabler.
No, I'm not an enabler. I'm just saying YouTuber X grew up in the Upper East Side.
Yes. culture.
rich, wealthy family.
They all live with their families forever.
Right. And then when they went, check this out, when they went to Tisch for film down in NYU,
Yeah.
they didn't live in the dorms. They continued to live at home.
Weirdo. No, a lot of people do that though.
I think this person needs a little socialization. I can tell this person needs socialization. They need to get out there and experience the world other than wealthy people.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge Public and El Gucci. Yes, obviously, I want my millionaire kids to buy me a house, but they got to go. You can't.
Oh, whoa, wait, no, hold on. If my son is like going places, like he's gonna be like a star quarterback, he can live in my house as long as he wants.
No, you mean you'll live in his house?
He can live in my house until it's time to get his new house, and then I'll live in that one.
It doesn't make any sense. You sound like Joe Jackson. But
we, at the end of the day, we are all Joe Jackson. Hurt your feelings, you know it to be the truth. Yo, wait, hold on. You're telling me your son has a golden arm, the kid with the golden arm.
Right.
You're gonna tell this motherfucker to get out at 18? Come on.
Bro, listen to me. You listen to me. You don't have kids, right? And so he can go live. Listen, all three of them, I have this rule. 18, it's either you leave or you catch these hands, right? You have to be moving on in education. You have to be living your life. Now, when the golden arm kicks in, as long as I'm still married to their mother, they'll take care of me by proxy, right? But I will always know.
Because they're going to buy my mama house, and you're going to be connected to that.
Exactly. But they got to go, man. You got to go. You got to go live your life, man. I will pay for grad
Well, that was
school.
the rule in my house. That was the rule in my house. I was out at 18. I was out at 18, which is why I was crashing on Zeus's floor.
Yeah, bro. I'll pay for it all. You just can't come back here. Thanksgiving, come by and get some food. You gotta go. 4 days is the max. You got to go.
Well, you are right, because my dream is to buy my mother a house, and she threw me out at 18. So maybe that's the formula to get a kid to do that.
Yeah, you gotta go. I love you, man. I'm trying to save your life. What about Batman?
Well, what do you think about Batman? I've watched several. I know I played a couple at brunch today. I've watched several more. I've listening to the thing. Apparently, everyone's talking masterpiece. No, IGN said it was a masterpiece. IGN is very kind on movies.
Yeah, they also enjoy. I believe their initial take on Eternals was good as well.
Yeah, they gave it an 8. They gave it an 8, and I was like, "That's insane." What's your take on this?
Yo, here's my take, man. I don't care. I'm gonna watch this 3-hour movie. As soon as it drops on HBO Max, because it's only in theaters. Theaters exclusive, right? I'm not going to the theater to see it. Is it coming on HBO Max?
Yeah, well, right after.
Right.
45 days after.
45. That's when I'll be watching it. I'm not going to the theater to see this. And I'm not downplaying anyone that wants to go see it. I will watch the reviews. I'm not even going to be mad at watching spoiler videos. This is going to be one of those movies where I don't care about spoilers, just like Eternals, man. I don't think that in my universe of comic or media consumption, this is not that big of a deal to me. It would only be a big deal if it's somehow tied together with, unpopular take, the Joker sequel, and they start building like a darker DC universe, redoing it separate.
Right. And he's clear that he wants it to be a separate universe entirely, which means it makes it less.
Yeah.
I have less of a hard on for it. I have like a half chub for it.
I have a semi.
I have a semi for this shit.
I'm reacting to this the same way you react. Never mind. I can't even make that joke. Folks, we're being severely.
Damn it. We are being too. Yo, can we just say things to get ourselves canceled?
No. Can we do that on your channel?
Yeah. Let's just go nuts. Yo, guys, who wants to see us just say whatever?
Don't egg him on.
I have been drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, everyone's saying it's good. Everyone's saying it's a great movie. I'll see in 45 days. Are you going to see it in the theater?
I don't want to, but I feel like I have to. That's the thing. I feel pressure to watch. That's why I went to Eternals opening day. I didn't want to. I was like, fuck this shit. I'll let it crash and burn without my money. And then I realized I was like, everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be into it.
I gotta go. I'm an artiste.
Vincent D'Onofrio's Mantis in the Story of Rogue Planet. I love that.
He called you white.
Oh my god, he's amazing. But honestly, I'm like, how do I not see this? How do I get away with not seeing that? That's the real question.
It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to tell you honestly, you're the only review that I've listened to thus far. So I'll probably go see what everyone's saying. Young Ripper, obviously, Comics Explained. If they do a review, I'll go check out a few other people. It's just not something I'm really excited for. I have
not been excited for this at all.
I was more excited for the conclusion of Peacemaker. Honestly, go check out Peacemaker, folks. Save yourself $17.
Check out Peacemaker.
And there's nothing really to report here, right? For me personally, now you can go on your tirade. This is gonna be the last thing I'm saying about it. I think there's more for me to report about some of the bad takes that I know that are out there. Because now I'm convinced that some of my favorite YouTubers may be into the payola, where they're getting paid. This might be breaking news for you. They're getting paid to say nice things about these movies.
This is breaking news for you?
This is breaking news for you. You're a naive, simple Canadian bastard. You don't understand the way America works.
You don't freaking, it's like, come on, man. Come on. Yo, Grace Randolph has been in the pocket of first DC, then Marvel.
Right.
For years.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just said that we're on YouTube.
It's okay. That word's permissible. You can say names. You just can't say anything bad.
Well, I'm just saying she clearly is paid to shill for Kevin Feige.
Unlike John Campea, who has altruistic reasons to report on film.
He's a psychopath. Underneath his floorboards, he has at least 30 bodies of young women that he picked up at a fucking strip mall. Their bodies are all burnt. I bet you if you go into his house, you will smell death right there because he's clearly a psychopath.
You have the same reaction you have when you see a predator, not like a sexual one, like a lion or something like that.
I knew what you meant. So you are not enthralled by Batman. You're not like taken by. You're not gonna go.
No, I'm gonna leave myself room for when I watch it on HBO Max for free because I have AT&T. Shout out to AT&T for sponsoring this video. The Mantis and the Hold Up approve this sponsorship.
We love the sponsorship. We love you.
But yeah, I'm not.
I just don't understand. You're gonna let all the spoilers come out?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Public says you have shouted out AT&T too much. I don't think it's possible. We love AT&T.
AT&T.
Hire us. AT&T. I'll be the voice of AT&T.
Already shut up. I want to be for you, AT&T. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.
Okay, so you didn't really want to talk about Batman because you have no interest in it.
No, I have none, but I'm interested in your takes. What are you thinking, man?
I'm thinking this shit is bullshit. No. Kidding. What are my predictions? Here's the thing. Even though everyone's giving it high praise,
right?
I still don't like it.
It's just, I like Robert Pattinson, man. I thought he was great in Tenet.
He was great in Tenet. He was great. He was great in Good Time. He's had a couple of good ones under his belt. I like him as a person, as an action hero, all that stuff.
Right.
He's not the problem. I just feel like when I look at it, it looks like a Nolan movie. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with that, but I'm saying if you're gonna reboot the character, at least, right?
Yeah, do something different.
Something different. And then also, I agree with you. It should connect to some greater universe.
Yeah, it's at this point that's the only way to make comics, unless it's such a great standalone. D-Love, it's not that I'm not interested in Batman. I'm not really interested in this project, and it's got nothing to do. Actually, this movie has everything it takes to be amazing, right? Great cinematography, great actors, but I'm just not. It's suffering the Spider-Man effect. I can't do another origin story. I can't get out of bed for this other than to watch it on HBO Max. That at 3 hours, if you're telling me there's no hour portion that's like flashbacks of Batman's origins, another director's take, I can't do it.
What I've gotten from a multitude of sources is that it's mostly a great movie, but for some reason, like the third act kind of falls apart.
Yeah, in 3 hours, it's hard to keep it together. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, why do I have to watch 3 hours of it? I feel you. I'm just so skeptical, and people are keep trying to convince me. They're like, "This is the way. This is the way. This is the way." I wonder if is there ever a situation where like the critics are completely wrong, and when fans go, they're like, "This is garbage."
There's multiple. I can't draw on them now, man. But I'll tell you this much, right? This is making me wish more and more that we would have got the Batman movie that Ben Affleck was supposed to be directing.
Yeah, no, would have loved it. I would have loved it. Public says third act, La La Land. No, here's the thing. I don't mind La La Land's third act. I do mind the finale.
I've
The
never
actual
seen that
true
movie.
finale of La La Land.
Never seen it.
What?
I've never seen La La Land.
Could you say that one more time?
I have never seen that movie about those two people dancing in the middle of the street.
Jesus Christ. How do I do a podcast with you? I don't even know what this is.
Public agrees. Public says that whole movie sucked, in my opinion.
Yo, how can you be so unromantic? Public, that is disgusting.
Oh, good one, Greg. Gray said critics love The Last Jedi mostly. That is
that is a good one. That is a good one.
I
still have a bad feeling about Batman.
Dude, I came out of The Last Jedi like I had drank some fight juice.
Shout out to Hold Up for being awesome. I'll tell you this, that what was I gonna say? No, honestly, I just feel like I'm so like people are hurting me toward like liking it. They're like, you need to like this, you need to like this. Every time I look at it, every time I see a trailer, I'm like, I don't like this.
No, it's all right. You know what? Some people are saying that Zoe Kravitz, the little murmurs that I've heard, Zoe Kravitz is really good in it, and that doesn't surprise me. And they said he was good in it. I just feel like it's going to be one of those disjointed movies. I don't care about the shit, and I hate to sound like a certain who from back in when. Don't shout it out. And I hate to be that person, but this is one of those things where I could just dead the conversation. Like, I do not give a shit about this movie at all. The closer we get to the release, I just keep going, but I want everyone else to enjoy it. That's the difference between me and that other person. I want you all to enjoy it if you're looking forward to it. I don't want to rob you of that.
Grace says, I never saw La La Land and I sleep like a baby. Public says, I don't watch it, Gray. It's not worth it. What?
Forrest Gump sucks. What?
Dreamfield BVD said, after I saw what DC Comics has coming up, the Batman looks like child's play compared to what's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not building on anything, and the new advanced idea is having a universe that ties in with other ones. And I don't want to
go backwards.
I don't want to go backwards. The suit is a step backwards. The concept that there's no other superheroes is a step backwards. I'm just not loving it.
No. But you know what? I will I'll be looking forward to your official review for Rogue Planet and all those shenanigans. Why don't you go ahead and promote some shit, man? Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go
promote some shit. Let's do this shit. So ultimately, every Monday at 6 p.m. ish is going to be a special edition of Roundhouse Trolley with Lainey O, and I am going to be her guest. And we're going to be talking about aliens, man. You guys want to talk about aliens? We're finally getting into the alien conspiracy. We're going to break that down every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, 8 p.m., Rogue Planet. Actually, however, this week I'm doing it on Thursday. Why? Why am I doing all that? So I can give you a review of Batman. Right? But actually, tomorrow, I think, when do we start?
What? Oh, yes. So tomorrow, I'm sorry. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, Spy on a Date on the Hold Up TV, Green Room, and Twitch. But prior to that, obviously, Conversations That Matter, 8 p.m. I'll be joined by Leilani to have an individual conversation about her journey as a content creator and some of her interesting takes. Make sure you tune in to Spy on a Date, 10 p.m. Twitch, Green Room.
Spy on a Date happens to feature the Fat Mantis and Carmen, by the way. Is Carmen in any of these?
No, it's Fat Mantis versus Carmen, and it's the rematch. And he's already looking for his competition like a drunken monster.
Oh well, what do you know? She's she's scared and hiding. Pathetic, pathetic, Carmen.
And also make sure you check out Request Box live Wednesday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And of course, every weekday at noonish. It's now noonish because
noonish.
I wake up so late. Is Brunch with the Fat Mantis. We just talk about whatever's new, what's clever, what's happening, what's hip, what's not. It's awesome.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now, bitches.
Good night, Twitch.